Welcome back in Tech IVP channel. So Techies, today we are going to discuss about topmost 8 interview question which is most commonly asked by the interviewer to check your base knowledge, how much you are aware about the basic testing terms. Okay, so let's start. But moving to next step, please like, share and subscribe this channel to get more amazing stuff about SDET role interview questions. So let's start. The first interview question is, what do you mean by SDLC and how it will work? So SDLC is software development lifecycle. Okay, and it is a process. Software development is a process where we can design, develop, test and deliver high quality product. It have different stages. Okay, from initial idea is this one, and maintenance. Last level we can deliver it on the production. This one is the phase one. At the initial level we can capture all the requirement, then we can do planning, how we can build this one, how we can test this one. Okay, after that we can design UI. Okay, after that we can do some UI and then we can implement. Okay, and in the implement we can develop, do some coding here. Okay, after that once coding is done, then we can perform testing. Okay, and after that once testing is done, QA or QC engineer will give the sign off, then we can deploy in the production. Once you deploy in the production, then we can do some maintenance, some patches or something extra. Okay, so I hope you get understanding about the SDLC model. Okay, how SDLC model will work. The next one is STLC. This one is a really common term. Most of the time interviewer asks, what do you mean by STLC and SDLC? What are the difference? So STLC is software testing life cycle, while SDLC is software development life cycle. So STLC stands for software testing life cycle. It is a systematic process to testing activity. It is systematic approach to test an activity. Okay, firstly we have to requirement analysis. Firstly we capture all the requirement and analysis. What are the requirements, why these projects are building, what are the key benefits, what are the key features of this project. Then we can do test planning, how we can test this one, what are the efforts we required, is required manual testing, is required automation testing, is should we do only function, should we do non-functional testing. Okay, after that we can test case development, then we can develop test cases. Okay, then test environment setup. After that we can set test environment, in which environment we can test. It's in the directly in the dev environment, in the QA environment, or in the stage environment, or in the UAT environment, where we can test the specific product or project. Okay, after that we can execute the test. We can perform test execution using the test cases. Okay, in the environment. Okay, and then if we found any bugs, then defect, and we can raise the defect. Once defect will be fixed, then we can do closure activity. Okay, so this one is your SDLC. Okay, performed during the software development. Okay, the goal of STLC is ensure quality of the product by verifying the validity and that the software meet the specific requirement and is defect free. Okay, so this one is a STLC. Okay, and next question is most common interview question. What is QA and QC? You are a QA or you are a QC? So that time candidate goes confused. What answer? They mostly said that I am QA, but they didn't know what exactly the role of QA. Okay, QA is process oriented. QA is a process oriented approach, while QC is product oriented approach. Okay, objective, preventive defect and detect defect. Preventive defect means the QA person build, test, plan and test strategy to prevent from the defect, but QC person will build, test, scenario and test case and execute it and execute it. Okay. QA, proactive approach at the initial level. It's a proactive approach. It is initial level. At the initial level, we can build test strategy and test planning. And reactive approach, once product is developed, then we can, according to once product or a UI is developed, according to that we can build test scenarios and test cases. Okay. For example, process audit, document review and training. But here inspection and bug report directly means in the QC we can directly execute the product. Test product, execute product means, okay, here we also test the product, but on the document level. Here in actual level we can do testing. Okay. So I hope you are get understanding about the Q and QC. Okay. The next question, what are the testing levels? So testing have basically 4 levels. Okay. This one is initial level, unit test, then integration, then system, and then acceptance. This one is also called UAT, user acceptance testing. Okay. In the unit testing, test individual component or model. This is basically done by the developer, and it is also called white box testing. Okay. Or a glass box testing, because they have just test the code. They didn't meant by the UI level. They directly put some logic in the code and test the code. Is code working as expectation or not? Okay. Integration testing, once individual model is tested, then integrated into the existing system. Okay. And then test after the integration, is this working perfectly? Suppose uh, at the we have already built a login page. After that we have already built a login page and the dashboard. Now we are going to build add to cart. Okay. So after that what we can do, so the login page and that dashboard is already built. Login page and dashboard is already available. Okay, already available. Now we are building add to cart. So here we can, at the initial level we can do integration testing in the add to cart model. Add to cart model at the initial level. Okay. But once we have to do integration, then after that what we can do, we can log in, then go to dashboard, and from the dashboard we can add some product and validate, is this visible in the add to cart or not. This one is the integration testing. After that, once this one is done, then we can perform system testing with all respects, like its performance testing, its functional non-functional testing. Okay, complete testing we can do here with the UI level. Okay, functional non-functional testing we can perform in the system testing. But most of the time candidate answer, okay, in the system testing we can check the hardware, XYZ items. No, we can check only the system, only the login page, dashboard, and the add to cart. But here we can consider functional and non-functional testing both. Okay. After that, in the acceptance criteria, we can do a release for the business stakeholder. They can identify, okay, this one is as per as per the requirement, what requirement they gave us. Okay. Okay. So I hope you understand test level. Okay. The next question is, what are the test techniques? Really important question. Most of the time candidate goes confused. What are the test techniques? Techniques means how we can uh, execute our test cases, how we can build test cases to frequently test the functionality. Okay. So the first technique is black box testing. Black box technique. This is also called test design technique. Okay. This one is also called test design technique. Okay. Second one is white box, and third one is experience based. Black box means where we don't know about the code model, how your code is working. Okay. But in the white box we know how code is working. And experience based, where we didn't meant about the UI level, We didn't meant about the code level. We have to just explore the things. Okay. So black box have different category. First is equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table, and use case testing. Okay. And white box have statement coverage, branch coverage, path coverage, and conditional coverage. Okay. And if we talk about the experience based technique, exploratory, error guessing, and the checklist. And guys, if you want detailed discussion on this one, please comment so that I can create a separate video on the test technique, test design technique, how we can create test design technique, what are the decision table and where we can apply the decision table, what are equivalence partitioning, how where we can apply the equivalence partition, boundary value analysis, and use case testing, how we can perform the statement coverage in the kind of automation, okay, or in the real time code, okay, branch coverage, how we can cover the branch, how many branches we have to cover, a branch, qa branch we have covered, dev branch we have covered, or the UAT branch we have covered. Conditional coverage is conditional fulfill if your age is 18 to 30. Okay, so how this condition will be fulfilled. Okay, then exploratory testing, how we can perform the exploratory in real time scenario. Okay, we can take any website, any reference. Okay, I have some dummy website, so in that case I have to be do exploratory testing and write the test cases and test scenarios. Okay, also error guessing, how we can guess the error, we get error on this one, how we can create a checklist based on the testing. Okay, so you can just comment in the comment box. Okay, so these are the basic three techniques: black box, white box, and experience based. And if we talk about the black box, then black box is equivalence partition, boundary value, decision table, and the use case. Okay, white box is statement coverage, branch coverage, path coverage, and the condition coverage. Experience based, where we have experienced, not we have 10 years of experience, 20 years of experience, but experience based. In that case we have to study all the document, study all the documents, means previous document, how previously this project this product is working, what are the new features they have built it, is there in document, or we can go through the some kind of the internet and search similar kind of product, how similar kind of product will be work. Okay, so this one is called experience based technique. So if you want to be make a separate video, detailed video on this one, you can just comment it out. Okay, the next question is, what are the basic difference between test strategy, test plan, test scenario, and test cases? Test strategy is a high level document. Okay, describe overall approach of the testing. Overall approach means you have to perform the unit testing, you have to perform the if you found any bug, you have to log it into the Jira or any bug tracking tool, or any in the project management tool. Okay, if your requirement is not clear, then you have to approach your project manager or the scrum master or the XYZ person. Okay, this strategy is a high level document, this is an organization level document. If we talk about the test plan, then test plan is describe how to perform testing on a specific product or a project. Okay, then comes to test scenario. First this one will be built, then test plan build, then test scenario build, and then test case build. Okay, we'll discuss also the closing, how this will be closed. Okay, then scenario is high level situation and to be test. Okay, suppose we are building a login page, so test strategy we have already built its organization level, because in that case you have to accept the build in testing environment only once unit testing is sign off. Okay, your PR is already reviewed by senior and unit testing is already performed. Okay, and test plan is already built. Every build should have a test plan. Okay, okay, and test scenario, suppose you are building a login page, so in the test scenario we have to cover high level, how we can test the login page, what action we have to perform, how we can do this one. Okay, and if we talk about the test case, then test case is a document set of action. Exactly, we have to perform some actions: login with valid username password, login with invalid username password, login with invalid username and valid password, login with valid username, invalid password, login with invalid username and invalid password, login, we have to just click on the submit button without entering the username password. So this one, these are the actions, is called test case. Okay, but if we talk about the test scenario, in test scenario we have to just cover login, test login page, with the valid and invalid credential. Okay, this is single scenario for this one. Also you can consider in the scenario, you can verify the layout, but here the specific term, here we can use verify term, verify, and here we can use validate. Validate login with invalid credential, validate login with valid credential, but here log verify, verify login page with valid and invalid credential. Okay, if you also want detailed video on test scenario and test case, so how we can build test scenario, test case and test plan, then please comment. Okay, now next one question is severity and priority. What do you mean by severity and priority? Severity means it impact your functional behavior, and priority means it impact your business behavior. Okay, it refers how serious defect in term of the impact on the system and functionality. Priority, it refers to how soon defect can be fixed based on the business need. Okay, focus technical aspects, here business aspects. Okay, set by focus here, set by tester and the QA team, but project manager and the product owner and the client. Okay, severity is critical, major, minor and the trivial. Okay, but priority is high, medium and the low. Okay, simply severity impact your functional behavior, priority impact your business behavior. Simple answer. Okay, and severity have 4 types and priority have 3 types. Severity is defined by the tester or QA team, but priority is defined by project manager, product owner or the client. Okay, next question is what are the type of API and what are the architecture. So API we have open API, internal API, partner API, composite API and composite APIs, but here is a combination of some different. Okay, but if we talk about the architecture, so the REST architecture, SOAP architecture, GraphQL API. Okay, it's a GraphQL API, GPRC API, WebSocket API. Okay, these are the architectures. Okay, and these are the types of the API. Open API, public API means weather API. These are the open and public API. Everyone can use. Internal API, like we are using Google Pay, and XYZ company also want some UPI using the Google Pay. So that time internal API, Google company will sell these API to the XYZ company. Okay, partner API means okay, these are the API, we can share this API with XYZ. Suppose some Google Map API they have shared with the MMI, or MMI shared some API with the Google Map. So these are the partner API. Both companies combined build some API. Composite API means API into one call. We have to call one API. Okay, so it will call multiple API in the behind of this one. Okay, and rest is architecture level, referential state transfer. Okay, so simple object access protocol. GraphQL is a client request specific data in one query. And if we talk about gRPC, Google remote procedure call. Okay, high performance, use protocol buffer. These are the tedious to use. Okay, WebSocket API, real time, fully duplex communication, mostly used on the hardware. Okay, so these are the type of the API. So guys, these are the really important interview question, which is really helps you to crack the interview. Okay, so I hope you understand all the questions and you like this video. Okay, please stay tuned to get more amazing stuff about SDET role interview question, and like, share and subscribe this channel. Goodbye, have a nice day.